So hello guys, I am the Alchemist, and in today's episode, I'm going to be going over NBA bruisers or just guys, in my opinion, that just like a lot of contact. Now, the first guy on our list is Steven Adams, who is one of my favorite players in the NBA just because of the way he sets hard screens, the way he's really physical, the way he's just a natural enforcer. And he's not like Robin Lopez, who you'll see later on in this list. He's much more like calm when he does his business, because a lot of people know you don't want to mess with Steven Adams. That guy is just an animal, just is relentless. But he's so underrated because he crashes the glass like unbelievably hard. I think one season he actually had the record for most offensive rebounds in a season by a individual player. Or if not, he came pretty darn close to it. But the things I really like about Steven Adams as a player is that he's such a team oriented player. He doesn't try and do too much. He knows his role. He knows his roles just to get offensive rebounds, hit people, let him feel you. It's kind of similar to what Dwight Howard does for the Los Angeles Lakers this season. Just a guy who comes in, does his work, comes off, and takes advantage of his matchups. Now, what you're seeing here is his highlight montage. And one thing that I find very interesting about this highlight montage is if you notice some of the clips, his arms are a lot smaller, and later on, you could just see the amount of work he put into to get his arms bigger, his muscle, his body right. So it's just really cool to see a player go through such a cool transformation. just, just he is just an animal on the offensive glass. They don't utilize him as much as they ought to be this season. He's kind of just a guy who comes in 5, 6, 7 minutes a quarter and then sits out the rest of the time. He's not, hardly is he ever in during crunch time, so that's kind of a bummer. Whew. But all right, guys, I'm gonna move on to the next player and keep this going. Okay, guys, so this next player is Jonas Valanciunas, who currently plays for the Memphis Grizzlies. But I really have a lot of respect for Valanciunas because he is the definition of an old school center. Not so much this season, but last season he was for sure the definition because he didn't shoot a lot of threes. He still doesn't, but shoots a lot more threes than most centers did back then. That's just because of the new age NBA. But Valanciunas is again just like Steven Adams, enjoys contact. He's and all these guys on this list are enforcers, but some I think are a little bit more than others. Valanciunas loves contact beyond belief, just like I guess just I mean it's funny, just like everyone on this list. He crashes the glass hard, he rebounds hard, and he's just an ultimate joy to watch. Some of the things I really like about Valanciunas is that even though he's a traditional center and all that, I do like that he's attempting to shoot threes and get a little bit better and do things his way. He really showcases that if you really work hard and you have a skill and you're really good at that particular skill, you can do a lot with it. It's the same thing in anything you do in life. Now, Valanciunas was actually traded for Marc Gasol. And I mean, it left some Raptor fans out there. I'm sure it had to have hurt your soul a little bit, but I think at the end it paid off because Marc Gasol played incredible defense in the playoffs when they ended up winning the championship. And it doesn't hurt when you have Kawhi Leonard, so there's that too. I think, like I said earlier, Valanciunas is the definition of a contact player. And moving on to the next guy. So the next player on our list is Aron Baynes, who currently plays for the Phoenix Suns. Now, what I like about Aron Baynes is he's actually more of a defensive oriented player. He has worked a lot on his offensive game, as you see here with the three ball. But what I noticed about Aron Baynes that's really cool is I think he's definitely found a home with the Phoenix Suns. I think he'll play at least 3, 4 years with the Suns, but it's the current NBA, so anything can happen, trade deadline and all that. But he really like I could say the same thing for every single guy on this list. He really embraces contact. He loves it, even when it hurts him. Like he's been posterized so many times, it's kind of sad. Like he's just trying to do his job, but eventually, it's gonna work if you're constantly willing to put your body out there. You'll get the best out of it. Now, the cool thing about Aron Baynes is that he actually won. He actually has a ring, which a lot of people don't really know. That's when he was a member with the San Antonio Spurs. Actually, funny enough, Dwight Howard is currently with the Lakers right now. So Dwight Howard actually played against Aron Baynes his very last game as a member of the Los Angeles Lakers before this season. And would you kid you not, he literally fell out in a playoff game against Aron Baynes. So someone that can handle a younger Dwight Howard is pretty impressive, I have to say. Because Dwight, when he was younger, was considered one of the best big men in the entire NBA, so it was kind of cool. Now, something that I find really fascinating about Baynes is that there's a play coming up in this video. He actually does it to Steph Curry. This is actually this is actually the game when Steph Curry injured his hand, and supposedly I think he broke his hand or something like that. It's this play right here. Yeah, he comes over and bam. He grimaces a little bit with his thigh, because there was a lot of contact, but Aron Baynes knew what he was doing here. You could say you could say it however you want. He knew exactly what he was doing on this play. Look at that! Look at that little smile. But yeah, Aron Baynes is a fun guy to watch because he gets better and better. I think he's serving the same role he is with the Suns as he did with Boston from last season. And Boston is still trying to recover off his loss. They got Enes Kanter to replace him, but Enes Kanter is not really an offensive-minded player. Baynes is a little more offensive-minded. That is the biggest difference I see between the two. And Aron Baynes is a little more skilled than Kanter. Kanter's literally just back you down layup. He's actually an honorable mention. I'm just going to say it right now. He is an honorable mention for this video, Enes Kanter. But as of right now, Aron Baynes still remains on this list just because of how fearless he is. Anyways, guys, moving on to the next player. Okay, guys, so this next player is, like I said, Robin Lopez. Robin Lopez is literally the definition of somebody that embraces contact. Now, a quick little funny story about the Lopez brothers. The way Robin and Brooke Lopez act is very similar to the way me and my brother act. So in a lot of ways, I actually relate to Robin, as I was the same way when I was playing. I was never an amazing basketball player by any means, but just the fact that the personality-wise, we were very similar. Now, let's talk a little bit about Robin Lopez. I think he's a little out of control. I mean, he does things that he really shouldn't be doing, but he is the definition of an enforcer and somebody that's going to be there for their teammate and loves contact. That is what Robin Lopez is. Just a guy who loves contact. Now, the highlights you're seeing here are from the 2015 season. He's actually currently playing with his brother, Brooke Lopez. And they currently have the best record in the NBA by not too many games. The Lakers are second, but still, it's really cool that he's kind of redeemed himself. His offensive game kind of really consists of just this trying to dunk over people. And a post hook, as you see here. He loves that post hook shot. In fact, there's a whole video on YouTube that's solely just Robin Lopez's hook shot. And the Bulls announcer makes me laugh because he always tries to compare it to someone else. Like, oh, so-and-so would be proud. Like, one time he said Moses Malone would be proud. And, he's also a warrior, too. I mean, he does a lot of stupid things, Robin Lopez, and that's not a joke. He loves, and the point of this video was to show guys that just love contact, and that's kind of the definition of Robin Lopez. This guy just embraces contact beyond belief. Another honorable mention that I wanted to say earlier in the video too was Andrew Bogut, who was a member of the Golden State Warriors and Milwaukee Bucks for most of his career. That guy was very similar to Robin Lopez. He's actually the guy Lopez dunks on in the beginning of this game, but that guy too liked contact, same as Robin Lopez. Now Robin is a little more skilled because he's a little more offensive minded than Bogut is. But compared to everybody else on this list, Valanciunas probably scores the most points out of all of them, and Baynes is probably a close second. I think all in all, what I wanted to kind of get through with this video is to showcase guys that embrace contact and just to show that there still kind of is that old school mentality in the NBA, but it's not anything close to what it used to be. Yeah, I think Robin Lopez is awesome because he loves contact and he plays the mental game of basketball very, very well. And I think I think he's gonna end up having a pretty solid career, and I don't think Robin Lopez will ever be an all-star, but I think he'll be a huge, valuable team asset. Now, I am the Alchemist. Like, share, comment, and subscribe, and I'll catch you all in the next video.